Welcome everyone. I apologize. I did not film an intro, so this is your intro. This is the beginning dress. I thrifted this from Savers. It's like a really old dead stock Target dress, which it's freaking cute as heck. So not quite my thing though, not quite my length. Also perfect for this DIY idea. So this is a picture of the dress that I'm gonna be trying to emulate. I am not totally doing the same exact thing. But a very similar vibe, a very inspired by kind of thing. I saw one video of this dress on TikTok, and that's all I know about it. So here we go. So I'm just kind of mapping out first where I want to put that big belly cutout situation. It's obviously very hard to see a marker on a black satin dress, so I am pinning around there as well so that when I try it on, I can make sure that that hole is going to sit where I want it to sit and not be, too cut out and whatnot. So here's me just kind of checking that so I can actually kind of see where it's going to be and where I need to adjust. And then from here, I'm just going to go ahead and cut out that front part of the hole. Alright, so here I'm kind of seeing how far I want that hole to go towards my back. I kind of mapped it out with this, so this is a good strategy if you don't have a seam in the back. I do have a seam in the back, and so I ended up just kind of using that seam as a guide, and I just went kind of right up to it, but I didn't want to go through it because I didn't want to make more work for myself by trying to hold a seam together. So, I just avoided the problem instead, which is honestly best case scenario. So yeah, I just cut out that half circle towards the back as well, and like I said, just went right up to that seam. Alright, and here I'm just cutting off the hem and making it the length I want. I just tried it on and put a pin where I want it to hang, and I just cut it a little bit below the pin for safety measures. Yeah, pretty simple. And then I'm saving that extra fabric as well because I'm going to be using that in just a second. So in the inspiration dress, it has one thicker strap, and so I'm going to be doing that as well. So I'm using this extra fabric from the bottom hem to make said strap, and I did end up remaking the strap later on because I needed a little more length after I made some adjustments to things. But I did the same procedure pretty much, so I'll let you watch it still. But basically I just cut out a long rectangle, sewed the ends together, turned it inside out, and made the little tube. Yeah, and that was pretty easy, and then I just kind of slid it over the original strap, as you'll see momentarily. And I did go ahead and put the strap in a towel and ironed it a little bit just so the seams would lay a little flatter. And then here, so the original straps had these really 90s-esque little beads, all over them, and as cute as it was, they were so effing uncomfortable, dudes. Literally, like, I don't know why, they were so itchy and scratchy, and, like, they just poked your shoulders the whole time, so I ended up taking them off of both straps. Obviously, I was going to take it off of the one that I am replacing anyway, but I ended up taking them off of both, so I just used my little seam ripper and take them off. And then here, I am putting a safety pin on the original strap that is still attached to the front of the dress, and then I just fed that safety pin through the new strap that I made. And then I just used the exact length of the original strap and whatnot to kind of measure it out and decide where I wanted it. Like I said, I did end up remaking the strap later on, but this method might work for you if you don't run into the same issue as me. And if you do, then I guess just remake your strap later on. So I ended up just hand sewing them on because it was a lot easier to control. And I just tucked in those frayed edges and then just sewed it on with a black thread. And that worked pretty well for the most part. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit of explaining, because I ended up doing a lot more work than I ever had to do. So let me explain what I was trying to do, and then what I ended up doing, which in the end worked out, but this was totally unnecessary. So my thought was that I don't want to sew around this hole because it's just not going to look super straight because I'm not super talented with my sewing machine. Also, it's not a great machine. Also, I'm just kind of making do with what I have, and I didn't want a really ugly hem around, like, the middle of my stomach, so instead, I was planning to use this fabric glue to, and as you see, I cut out little notches, and I was going to just fold all the notches over, put the fabric glue on, and then have that be just kind of a solid cutout there. What happened was I think the fabric just did not want to take to the glue at all, and so in the end I took out all the pins and all of the flaps just came right up anyway. So I ended up cutting all the little flaps out, and then I ended up doing exactly what I'm doing here to the bottom of the hem of the dress, and I just took that fabric fusion glue. You can also use just like an anti-fray glue. There's a couple different kinds out there. I got mine at Michael's. It's pretty inexpensive and it works really great. So I just put the glue all around the bottom hem, let that dry overnight, and that worked great. And so that's what I ended up doing after I cut off all those little notches that I cut for no reason in the stomach hole. So yeah, I would say just go with that, unless you have like a satin fabric that really wants to fray, then you might have to hem it. But this fabric was actually really nice. It just was super slippery, so it didn't want to stick to the glue. So that's fine. It worked out. It was a hassle, but it worked out. Good God, okay, it's worse than I thought. Don't mind the way I look, I just woke up from a nap. So it's been a few days and I'm coming back to this dress. So here is my issue and here's where we're at. So straps, good, fine, whatever. So this is kind of what I thought was gonna happen with this, is that it just hangs too low. And maybe I cut it a little bit too big, but I'm really trying to save it because I really want this to work. So basically, the fabric glue just didn't work. Like, this fabric just didn't stick. I don't know what to tell you. So I have to go around and cut off all these little like notches that I had cut originally to stick down. So that's annoying, but then it also makes this a little bit bigger. And so I'm sorry, my camera battery died, but anyway, we're back. So yeah, so this is now too big and it hangs super low. And then when I sit, it's just like this. So I think what I'm gonna try to do is take the skirt in a little bit. I just don't want it to turn into like a bodycon, so I'm still trying to keep that angle. Sorry, I don't know if you can see very well. There's that. But if I take it in a little bit, that kind of tightens it up here and here, and then it's less frumpy. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut off that excess bits, turn it inside out, and then I'm gonna pin where I want this to be, and we'll go from there. Guys, this worked a lot better than I thought I was going to. Okay, so I sewed up the side, yeah. I still need to like tie the strings and stuff, so if you see that, ignore. But check it out. It fits so much better. It's literally like, it hits me like a low-rise skirt would hit now, and it's still long enough, thank God. I was so worried this whole time that I had cut it too short, but it looks really good. Okay, so now I wanna take in this bust part a little bit because it like looks a little frumpy on me because, you know, small yitties. So I'm gonna turn it inside out again, try it on, and we'll just pin it, and it should hopefully be kind of simple. Okay, yeah, so what I kind of explained just now, I'm just taking in that top bust part, and on the one side without the zipper, I'm taking it, I'm like pinching it at the seam so that I can get rid of that big bulk of fabric and the seam as well. And then on the side with the zipper, I avoided the problem by just going next to the zipper. And it actually did work out, so it's a lot easier than trying to replace a zipper, let me tell you. So yeah, and then I just sewed up those two sides and cut off the excess, and bam, baby, look at that fit. Oh, okay. So this is when I noticed that this strap was way too tight. So I went back to that scrap fabric, and I actually got even smarter, guys, and I just used the big hem that was on the bottom of the original dress. So yeah, it was already the perfect size, and it was already sewed in like a tube form, so it was literally perfect, and I should have just done that from the beginning, but alas, you live and you learn. So here I am, I'm just cutting that big long strip off, and then I attached it to the back, measured it to the front again, and then just hand sewed them back on. And bam! With the new strap, this thing fits so good. And guys, I love how it turned out. It's so freaking cute. Welcome to Hot Girl Summer. So I made this and then I wore it immediately to me and my boyfriend's anniversary dinner. And I literally finished it like moments before. So I forgot to film like an ending clip for this video for that part. So I'm going to insert a clip from my What I Wore in a Week video, because then you can see how I styled it that night and everything. So that's this, and then I'm gonna insert a couple other little clips of some different ways that I would style this, because I think it's so unique and I want to be sure to get some good use out of it, because it is kind of like an event statement-esque piece for sure. So yeah, enjoy. Alright guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that this was fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed the little styling bit. Apologies that it was one, in such a weird corner of my home, and two, the lighting was probably bad and the angle was weird. I apologize for that. But as you know, we are moving, and so this is the wall that I would normally film on. So last night I thought, well, maybe I'll just get up early and I'll go outside somewhere and film the looks. So that was my full intention today, and then I woke up and I still had a migraine that I had last night. So I didn't do that, but I still wanted to film them. So I got them out for you. I hope that this will suffice for now, and I cannot wait until next month when we move and I can hopefully just have a setup to go to whenever we film and get some actual full body shots for you guys. That'll be nice. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you did, let me know down below. Let me know what your favorite way I styled the dress was, and if you try this at all, tag me and send me pictures. I would love to see what you guys create also. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, and see you guys next week. Bye!